When do you think the last time you guys played a complete game this season has been, when you can look back and say, hey, this is a good example of what happens when everything comes together?
I think I think every coach in the country will tell you that that hasn't happened to anybody. A complete game is really hard. Now, if you say our best game top to bottom, I think there's been games where, I love the Arkansas game because the crowd got in it. They kind of tried to punch back a couple times, and we answered the bell a handful of times. I remember really trying. Our guys. We made some shots. Remember Jalen Hill hit a big shot in the corner. Tanner hit a couple threes. I remember the shots we hit. I remember Jordan Goldwire was really. I think guys were playing their roles and not trying to do things they couldn't do.
Yeah.
That game stuck out of my mind. We just got to get more guys playing well in the same night, and if you just sit back, all right, who really played well against Oklahoma State? You can just ask yourself that, like, who really had a great game? I thought Tanner did some really good things. You go down the list, we had 3 of our starters combined for, I think, 2 for 21. And then the 4th starter had 8 turnovers. Yeah. If you would have told me that stat between 4 of your starters, I might have said we would have lost by 20, 25. So we just got to play better. We got to play better. We got to coach better. And we got to try to move towards what you're asking, Eric, a more of a complete game.
You talk a lot about Rick Majerus. You have a lot of sayings that he's given you. If you could talk to Rick now, what do you think he would tell you when you're going through a kind of a slide like this, 7 of 8? What would Rick tell you during times like this?
Probably can't say it publicly, but he just stay with your process. Defend, rebound. Defend, rebound, playing guys that are completely all in. Rick was big on that, especially when our first year with him. He had his first losing season in the history of his career was the first year of St. Louis, and we inherited only a couple guys, and it's stayed true to where you want to go, that's what, I got an unbelievable letter for him my first year at Loyola. I still have it. I got it upstairs, and it just talks about the same thing. Hey, stay true to what you're doing. It's a long journey. Don't try to do it. So he would say that right now, keep trying to get him to defend, rebound, play the right way, spacing on offensive spacing is offense. He would just really stay the course on where how you want the culture of your program to be.
Porter, I appreciate it, man. Good luck tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
Bob Pirzbillo.
Porter, where's CJ Nolan right now in terms of his development? And is he someone that could perhaps play a bigger role here coming down the stretch?
Yeah, I met with some of our freshmen individually, watched all their minutes with them one-on-one as a head coach. Because, we had a number of minutes that we had 2 true freshmen on the court at the same time. That doesn't happen in the Big 12. It hasn't happened a lot in the country. But name another program that's had 2 true freshmen on the floor at the same time in this league race. So I met with them individually and just be like, let's start. How can I help? We got to get better, and love those guys, and we just trying to help them play better, play more confident, know what we want in certain situations, defensively how to get them better. So watched every minute of their game. One-on-one with them, and him and Bijan. Alston didn't get in, but the other 2, Bijan and CJ, individual met with them myself on every minute and just talked about it. Talked about, because we if we're going to play them, we need them to get better, and we're going to play them.
Appreciate it, Porter.
Jesse Crittenden.
Porter, appreciate your time today. Just want to ask, you mentioned after the Oklahoma State game that sometimes, you just need guys to hit some shots. Yeah. After watching the film, do you attribute that to a lack of confidence? Do you attribute that to, better execution, or is it just sometimes that shots don't go in?
We just got to keep repping it out and get your confidence going. We looked at every shot and we had 2 shots where there was no one that were like 8 feet of us. And you just got to see it going in, and you got to fight through it. Like Tanner wasn't seeing it go through, And then now he's, he saw it go through a couple of times. He's in the gym, the basketball gods, reward reps, and you just got to fight through it. And some of our guys' shooting percentages aren't, indicative of what they can do. So you just got to keep getting in the gym, but it's, and just stay confident. I'm trying to, give them confidence, play to their strengths, but when you're playing these elite defenses, I mean, look at it, it's, you gotta, they're switching. It's hard to get to the rim against Texas Tech. I think they're number one in the country at giving up twos. I mean, they're really hard to get to the rim. They once you start to dribble, they're flying at you. So you're going to be able to you're going to have to hit some threes to loosen it up. And so we've got to do better.
Appreciate it, Porter.
Justin Martinez.
Hey, Porter, appreciate your time today. The last few losses, you guys started to fall in the projections for the NCAA tournament, which I know is a little while from now, but you talked a lot about the season, about the process and enjoying the process of getting better. With a couple of really tough matchups coming up, just how do you find that balance between enjoying the process of this and also understanding that, if we are going to start to turn things around, now would be the time to really get some big wins under our belt?
Well, I think the guys have said that, like, hey, now is the time for a handful of games. I mean, they know how big every game is, but they also know how opportunistic they can be. I mean, this week we got number 8 and 9, followed by Texas, who will be probably 8 or 9 next week after that win last night. So I mean, every game you're playing like 8, and I know we keep talking about this, but there are opportunities. We've got some good games on our resume. You start to get a couple more, and that's the thing. I hope everyone looks at it in March is like the Big 12. I think the average net is 30 or 31. Conference, the second rated conference, the average net is like 61. That's like a crazy difference. I think I'm right on that. I heard that stat, but opportunity. I mean, this is, we've got some of the best teams in the country on our schedule almost every night, and their opportunity to get better. And none of them are easy. None of them are easy. We got to play well. You got to play well to beat them. But our mindset is opportunity, play better, chase getting better. And that's our mentality.
I appreciate it, Porter.
Yep.
Colton Soley with a final question for Coach.
Hey, Porter, I wanted to ask you about Mo. He struggled shooting last game against Oklahoma State, but we've heard all season long from you and other players that he's a gym rat. So what did you tell him after that game, and how has he practiced this week?
Great. I told him, I said, Mo, you've earned not just being a shooter. I mean, his off the dribble game is much better. He's got to defend better. You can't let that dictate his defense. He got caught in a couple back cuts last game, but man, his mentality is great. He came in and practiced as hard as anybody in the gym yesterday in our practice. He wants to win so bad. He wants to play well so bad, and his work ethic backs it. Sometimes young people, their work ethic doesn't match their want. I want to be in the NBA. I want to be great, but their work ethic and what they invest doesn't match their want. Mo's almost exceeds his want. I mean, his work ethic, tremendous. So yeah, he was 0 for 6, I think, against Oklahoma State. Is that right? He was 0 for 6 against Oklahoma State. Man, he was back in the gym shooting, working on his game, working on his handle, and had as hard a practice as anybody yesterday.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.